The system is failing. We're going to have more homelessness, more unemployment, and the government has to print more money. It's a command and control economy where the government tells you everything. I just don't trust our government. And they're going to have to start printing pretty quickly. And the more they print, the less value, purchasing power the dollar has, or the loonie, or the yen, or the peso. People are talking about inflation. I think we're in depression right now, and we're going to be the biggest depression in world history. In the 1970s, that's when the world was changing. The biggest bust in the history of the world is coming up. It's pensions. They trusted the government. They trusted their pension would be there, and it's going to go bust. And that's us. We get crushed.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As though, guys, we have a lot of action taking place in the crypto market right now. First and foremost, we see that Bitcoin is over 20,500, ETH over 1,500, XRP hovering at 46 cents. But the talk of the town is Dogecoin, up to 14 cents, 125% up in just a couple days, off of Elon Musk buying Twitter. And we're going to get into something special that I think is about to happen very soon. But first, I have a special announcement. For those of you subscribed to my Udemy course, a new lecture, numbered 177, has just been posted. I made 2 massive buys on high quality hidden gem tokens. And between these 2 cryptos, it consists of 5% of my portfolio that I just accumulated on. I genuinely believe all of you should have these in your sight. And right now, they're at extremely excellent entry points. I highly recommend you guys take a look. And now, on to the massive news that broke yesterday. I posted on Twitter that I think Coinbase should relist XRP. And this is off of the heels of Coinbase filing an amicus brief in the fight against the SEC that's pro-Ripple. I believe right now Ripple has 10 amicus briefs in their favor. The Blockchain Association as well throws support behind Ripple. This is essentially the association for every single superpower blockchain organization on the planet. And they're backing Ripple and sticking up the middle finger against the SEC. Also remember, guys, that Coinbase Blackrock partnership. Coinbase was selected by Blackrock. And with this amicus brief against the SEC, that's essentially, in my book, Blackrock telling the SEC to fuck off. We now have the support of the entire crypto industry, as now crypto people are beginning to wake up to the fact that this SEC case against Ripple is more than just saying poo-poo to XRP. This is for the entire industry, and if Ripple performs poorly, all of crypto gets screwed. We're seeing crypto heads unite together. And that's the first time I've seen something like this in my life. Coinbase waited almost 2 years to give their support against Ripple. But I believe with their strength, as well as the strength as other people coming from the background in support of Ripple, the pressure is going to be on for the SEC and Gary Gensler. Remember that November 15th date as an important date for the potential settlement of this case. And as we approach the inevitable end, we're seeing the SEC soften their tune. They're slowly but surely beginning to give up. And in my personal opinion, it's because they're outclassed. At the same time, yesterday, NFTs on the XRP ledger with XLS20 is now enabled. And this is going to be one of the most important opportunities for everyone in the XRP community. I had promised I will give you an NFT interview with Club XRP very soon. And I believe by tomorrow that interview will be posted on YouTube. You're going to learn how you can create your own NFTs on the XRP ledger as well as numerous other things you may not have known, and that's going to be extremely important for the utility and adoption of our technology. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's pivot our attention to something extremely important from Watcher Guru. It states that Joe Biden endorses a Fed policy pivot. Now, there was a lot of confusion around this specific headline and article, and the reason is because apparently he endorses a hawkish stance on raising interest rates by the Fed. Some people thought it meant he wanted a policy pivot as far as lowering interest rates is concerned. However, I think he's saying he may want to test one more higher interest rate hike to see what happens. But this is the thing though, and this is what I've been discussing with every single one of you for weeks now. I remember playing you plenty of clips stating why the Fed cannot continue to raise rates and they cannot tame inflation. The reason is because we're in an election cycle. Bring down the system now. Right before elections, the people in power will no longer be able to stay in power. What's most likely to happen is that they're going to ensure that the economy stays propped up. And as we see the potential for another rate hike, we need to understand how important the Bank of England's pivot was. And I think the US is going to follow suit. We need to understand that the system is one moment away from breaking. I believe right now is the period in history we were meant to see the adoption of these digital assets. I believe plenty of digital assets were meant and created to help solve a financial crisis. 2008, we saw the rise of Bitcoin out of the ashes of the '08 financial crisis. Now, what will come out of the financial crisis that will be coming shortly? Your guess is as good as mine, but my bets are on XRP. We are continuing to see the accelerated adoption of CBDCs globally. India's central bank is starting its wholesale CBDC pilot November 1st. And we have to remember all of the connections Ripple has to India. At the same time, Hong Kong proposes allowing retail trade in cryptocurrencies, and typically, they make laws that favor institutions and that get retail investors wrecked. Right now, if they're proposing to allow retail to trade crypto, is because after they make it legal, they will probably be using those retail investors as exit liquidity. Pay very close attention to when they pass policy. Pay very close attention to what they want retail investors to do. Do the opposite of what retail investors are doing, and then you won't get slaughtered. A great example of news for the masses is Jim Cramer, and this may be one of his best moves yet. Here, 6:59 Eastern Time on Halloween, Jim Cramer states that the charts suggest the market has more upside through the end of the year. Then, 8 minutes later, Jim Cramer states hold your nose and sell to brace for a possible market downturn. What are retail investors supposed to think? These articles are 8 minutes apart. They're not even trying to hide the manipulation anymore. They're just trying to cover their ass and be able to say that they were right and point back to one of these type of headlines and delete the other one. But the reason I state that is despite the fact that retail investors are used by institutions for exit liquidity, we the retail investors and we the innovators that have been in the crypto market for a long time are beginning to see things shift. Elon Musk purchased Twitter. And this is a picture of a Shiba Inu wearing a Twitter shirt. Elon Musk has long backed Dogecoin. And there's a lot of speculation that Elon is going to bring Dogecoin to Twitter. I think Elon could bring plenty of cryptocurrencies to Twitter. And I think the fact that he now owns one of the most powerful social media platforms on the planet cannot go unnoticed. We're going to push boundaries. And I think Twitter could be one of the most powerful Web3 sites on the planet. Don't get it twisted. We're coming into the utility phase for the crypto market. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to cap off this video for the day, you have to remember that I believe the end of this case is coming quicker than we expect. Keep all these amicus briefs, all these timelines, and all this news in your mind. I believe positive price action is due, specifically for XRP and other cryptos that we discuss on this channel constantly. HBAR is at a life-changing buy right now, in my personal opinion. And it may be the best buy in all of crypto based on the chart alone. Now, despite the fact that XRP is the 4th largest crypto in the planet, it is still delisted from all exchanges in the United States. Over 200 exchanges, because of this SEC lawsuit, delisted XRP, halted trading. However, it's still the 4th largest crypto on the planet. Even in a crypto bear market, XRP is withstanding a lot of turbulence. And even if you hate XRP, that has to impress you. Even if you hate XRP, you need to see the writing on the wall. A lot of people that hate XRP call it a banker's coin and say they're in bed with the institutions, and yet say they're in unregistered securities and they're not going to get adopted. In the same breath, it's pathetic. The runway and the amount of time we have left is running out fast to take advantage of this opportunity. And like Rosie Rios likes to say, the train has left the station. Now, guys, I'm going to leave you with this. In times of inflation, which is 100% caused by the government, assets typically rise in value. With this potential Fed rate hike and potential pivot afoot, we need to keep an eye out on what's going to happen next. I think inflationary times are coming back to the US, and I think the end of this system is going to go into hyperinflation, CBDCs, negative interest rates, and eventually XRP adoption. UBI and digital IDs is the world that they're trying to take us into. And despite the fact that I don't like it, I'm telling you all that that's the next phase of this agenda. Look at what they're doing to Kanye. Look at what they're doing to Tate. These things are all coming to a country near you. Keep your eyes on the prize. Stay vigilant. And try and make as much money as you can before that system takes control of you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
In the modern era, the important next step is to recognize that today governments control the quantity of money, so that as a result, inflation in the United States is made in Washington and nowhere else. Of course, no government any more than any one of us likes to take responsibility for bad things. We're all of us human. If something bad happens, it wasn't our fault. And the government is the same way. So it doesn't accept responsibility for inflation. If you listen to people in Washington talk, they will tell you that inflation is produced by greedy businessmen, or it's produced by grasping unions, or it's produced by spendthrift consumers. Now, of course, businessmen are greedy. Who of us isn't? Trade unions are grasping. Who of us isn't? And there's no doubt that the consumer is a spendthrift. But none of them produce inflation, for the very simple reason that neither the businessman nor the trade union, nor the housewife has a printing press in their basement on which they can turn out those green pieces of paper we call money. Only Washington has that printing press, and therefore only Washington can produce inflation.